During those years, however, Sylvia wanted Eli instead of Mark. In his usual thoughtlessness, Eli had dated her out of a competitive spirit and had only split with her because of his draft notice. He didn't want her to wait for him. She'd run straight into Mark's arms.
"A fine pair,"
Matilda spoke up. Apparently, she'd seen where his eyes had landed. She was right. Eli and Sylvia had never been right for each other anyway. Mark was ready to settle down, and Eli suspected they'd be married by spring. The fall wedding season was coming to an end.
"They'll probably be married by spring,"
Matilda echoed his thoughts. She paused briefly.
"So, you're going to be a camper in Hagerstown? Leaving in a few days?"
She took his arm again. Her touch shouldn't have annoyed him. It was part of the game. He nodded and imagined the long bus ride away from home.
"The singings won't be the same without you."
"Oh, I reckon you'll still have a gute Zeit. You always seem to anyway."
"A good time without you? You're funniest of the Junga, Eli. You always keep everyone entertained."
He smiled at her compliment, but her calling him one of the young people, at his age, grated. Since receiving his draft notice and taking stock of his life, he realized he was nearly the only 25-year-old man still unmarried and without any real prospects. He wasn't the model of a well-brought-up Amish man. Most men 4 and 5 years younger weren't just married, but were already fathers.
"I'd like to write you while you're away."
"Yeah?" His head twitched with surprise. In the dim light, he could see that her cheeks had grown rosier from the cold air, and that she never ceased to smile.
"Mem and Dad said that as a community we should support you boys who get drafted, especially after what happened with Henry Mast."
She was right. No one wanted any other Amish boy leaving the CPS to enlist in the Army. The whole idea of the camps was to provide a place for conscientious objectors, the conchies, as they sometimes called the campers, to serve peacefully in the midst of the war. The only other options were non-combative roles or ending up in prison. Defying the Amish standards and the options the government offered was not their way. Eli was not going to enlist like his best friend Henry had. He would serve out his time and return to his farm work, but he would not return to this. The idea of returning to singings and playing games with many who were only 16 and 17 years old made him see clearly how childish he'd been for so long. He let out an audible sigh. Maybe Matilda was right. Getting letters from home would help him through what he expected to be mundane and unsatisfying work. "Sure, you can write," he said. "I can't promise you'll get many letters back. I'm not very good at Briva Shrava." He couldn't remember the last time he'd written a letter. He laughed.
"Maybe you can just drive me home sometime when you get back as a thank you."
Suggestion filled her high-pitched voice, reminding him of the udder of a cow that had missed a milking. Eli cleared his throat in order to push away a chuckle. Then he stopped walking and turned to look at her. She bit her lower lip, and her intentions, amidst her nervousness, were clear. He had to diffuse this. He gripped the curl of his hat, forcing her hand to drop from his arm. "Matilda, it's nice of you to want to write me, but it has to be just as a friend." Matilda didn't move for several long moments. Finally, she nodded, and her eyes lowered to the cold ground in front of them. The group finished walk-a-mile, and the couples headed toward the buggies and their horses that were loosely tethered to the hitching post. Eli wasn't in the mood to say a lot of goodbyes to the group, so he decided to crack a few jokes instead. "Just wanted to say bish spata." He gave a quick wave as he said he'd see them later. "Blap ras druvel, we'll miss you, Eli," someone yelled out. Several more agreed that he should stay out of trouble. "Too bad I won't miss you," he yelled back, getting a hearty laugh. Everyone